So here we are on Ramsgate's High Street. You can't miss us.
It's so cool. I mean, like zippy zap, 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 zippy zap, zap. So cool.
The unit used to be an optician's but lay boarded up and empty for several years. So we've given it our trademark Discovery Planet makeover. It's bright and we hope it's inviting with our unmistakable branding. We've made it fun, warm and inviting so that everyone feels welcome and curious to come in and see what's going on. It's a space for the whole community to take part in hands-on science workshops and other learning activities. Here, people of all ages can meet approachable scientists. They can find out about cutting-edge research and discover how that relates to the world around them. We have funding from the Science and Technology Facilities Council for 2 years, but with a bit of additional support, we're actually hoping to keep the shop open for 5 years. Ramsgate is a beautiful place with a great community spirit. But like many other coastal towns up and down this country, the area faces some real challenges. Thanet, the district Ramsgate is located in, is one of the most deprived local authority areas in the country, and people are facing real barriers to taking part in enriching educational activities outside of school and college. Things like the cost of travel or entry, a lack of confidence, or the lack of understanding what's on offer can really deter people from taking part. So that's why we decided to create a welcoming high street venue with free of charge activities, so that people can just weave this experience into their everyday lives. The fact that there are lots of empty commercial units on the high street and very little designated community space made it actually a no-brainer to try and secure one of these empty shops for the Discovery Planet shop.
In 2013, Xanthi rang me at the university to see if we would bring our inflatable Astrodome for an event funded by an Institute of Physics Public Engagement Award. She wanted to create a space-themed activity, specifically for adults who would not normally have the opportunity to take part in such activities, and it was going to take place in a disused theatre in the centre of town. It wasn't the type of event that we would usually do in terms of outreach, but it sounded like a brilliant idea, and it gave us an opportunity to engage people in the area of Thanet, which is an area that the university had struggled to engage with previously. And it sounded like a lot of fun and a really worthwhile activity, so we said yes.
The project identified a real thirst for this type of activity amongst local people, and it gave us a strong evidence base to secure more funding for further projects. It was the start of a mutually beneficial partnership with the university. We had access to a high-quality education provider, and the university has a conduit to an underserved audience. We realised that we were onto something really exciting with this.
Over the next few years, we applied for and were awarded several pots of grant funding from bodies like the UK Space Agency, the Royal Society of Chemistry, the Royal Academy of Engineering and the National Lottery. Working with the university's outreach team, we identified empty spaces to pop up in and designed workshops on a vast range of topics. We've appeared on market stalls, in disused shops, a museum, an art gallery, church and a Georgian theatre. We've covered subjects like space, states of matter, genetics, wind turbines, forensics, plastics and electricity. In fact, since that first planetarium, we've delivered over 22 events generating over 14,000 visits from local people and working with most schools across the district. We've formed collaborations with local industries to show the practical applications of science, and we've given opportunities for potential employment and educational opportunities. For example, we ran a project about clean energy generation and collaborated with Vattenfall and London Array to help people understand more about the largest offshore wind farm in Europe, which is just off our own coastline, and routes into employment within clean energy. One of our sessions started with the Beach Clean to show people the quantities of plastic waste in our seas, and showcased University of Kent's research into the development of bioplastics, a scientific solution to this problem.
Discovery Planet had built up an excellent reputation and loyal following, and we had some real momentum going. As the years passed, however, we found it increasingly hard to find suitable venue spaces. We also wanted to provide a more regular experience for local people so that they could reap the benefits of a longer-term relationship with science. We therefore decided to partner with the University of Kent to apply for a much larger grant, an STFC Nucleus Award. We had no idea whether we would be successful, but we decided to throw everything at it.
Hello, my name's Jenny Chambers. I head up a team that looks after public engagement for STFC, which is the Science and Technology Facilities Council. My team looks after public engagement funding and partnerships, and we receive a lot of grant applications every year, of which Discovery Planet was one. So what we really liked about Discovery Planet's proposal was that it's a fantastic way to reach people where they are by bringing the STFC science to places where people are already naturally passing through. As you're wandering down your high street and you see something appealing in a shop window, you're much more likely to go into that than you might be to, say, attend a lecture or something that can feel a little bit more exclusive and not for you. But Discovery Planet is really unique in the way that it's sort of repurposing and reimagining public spaces that may have not been in use for a while. Obviously, from the STFC perspective, we're delighted that a component of that is bringing our science to a wider audience. But really, that enduring presence allows people to see science happening, to see it as part of their daily lives, things that they walk past every day. And it really reduces the distance between the concept of science happening somewhere else and being done by other people and almost being done to sort of communities and the public. The value for us is in the really effective partnerships that have been developed, the science that Dr. Mason brings, and the real sort of community energy that Nikki and the team are bringing to everything that they're doing through Discovery Planet. And we really hope that there will be a really strong legacy, both in terms of impact on the communities, but also in the partnerships that are set up and the ways in which we can all work together in the future.
Hi, I'm Sophie Duncan. I co-direct the National Coordinating Centre for Public Engagement, and we are a national organisation that try and support universities to do really useful research by connecting them to publics and communities. I think what's special about Discovery Planet is two main things. The first is that it's a locally based grassroots organisation, and they open up learning for people who are living in places of disadvantage. And the second thing that I think is really special about Discovery Planet is its partnership with the University of Kent. And that partnership grew out of Discovery Planet asking to borrow a planetarium. And from that, a really important and special partnership developed that is really mutually beneficial and draws on the strengths of the University of Kent and the strengths of Discovery Planet to do something really special for local people. I think for the council, it's a real investment in the planet and improving outcomes for local people. And not only that, the pop-up shop offers local organisations the opportunity to do some of their work in a supported environment.
This project with Discovery Planet is really important to the university because what it represents is that we're taking out our knowledge, our skills and our expertise into the places where people work, where they shop, where they play, where they live. And that's a really important aspect of the university's work. We have a real commitment to the communities of Kent, and this represents that commitment really clearly.
So the importance for our department to have a partnership with Discovery Planet allows the researchers at the University of Kent to promote their research and deliver hands-on workshops and activities to a wider audience.
I work as a volunteer, so I'm just generally just there to help the children and their parents. When I work with the children, there's just like their genuine interest and excitement in science, which I found really motivating actually, because when I was in primary school, I didn't have those sort of activities. The work experience I got at Discovery Planet has inspired me to pursue my education at university, especially in medicine, and I hope to become a doctor in the future.
So when I heard about this project, I contacted my colleague Jen DeWitt, who's one of the leading researchers in this area in the UK, and we very quickly decided we want to be involved. This is a very open, friendly space. It just looks like a shop, or it looks like a sort of space that you would see on any high street. People are much more willing to come through the door as a result. They're much more willing to engage with it. It doesn't look like a scary space where you're going to get judged. It looks like a friendly space where you're going to feel welcome. This has been a really valuable experiment in how to bring a place like this into a town like this, and the learning that the team have been able to take from this experience is going to be really valuable in when they move forwards in Ramsgate and in other towns in the local area, but also as we think about how to make spaces like this work in other towns in the UK.
As the town promoter for Ramsgate, part of my role is to work with the business community, evaluate what's happening in the town centre and report to the town council. I was delighted when Xanthi and Nikki decided to find a permanent space, because I've been following them and promoting them for years when they've had their pop-ups around Thanet. So in terms of the future and how Discovery Planet sits in our town, I don't think the timing could be any more perfect. In a town where we have two very large headquarters for wind farms that serve two of the largest wind farms in the UK, which I know both Nikki and Xanthi already work with, I've got this lovely thought that actually there's going to be some young person that goes to one of their amazing pop-up events and it inspires them to take on science, and then they're the person that invents how we store all this amazing energy that we're creating from the natural resources of the planet.
It's absolutely fantastic to be able to walk down into central Ramsgate and have access to university lectures and age-appropriate activities that can really bring our science curriculum to life. That's so important.
Topics covered are excellently linked to the school curriculum. Some year groups have had a couple of years out, so it's even for them it's a refresher of what they've missed.
I think it's very important that the topics are linked to the school curriculum so that the children can see science outside of the classroom and how it relates to the real world, and maybe we've got some budding future scientists within our classes.
We're coming because we can't do all of this at school. We haven't got the resources and the equipment or the time to do all of this.
It's really well thought through, practical lessons that the kids really enjoy. It makes all the difference. It's just brings it alive for them, puts it in a real life context.
Our children that then go home are just so enthused by science, and that's really kind of one of the main purposes of why we bring them here. I've had several comments from their adults at home that have gone home and they've not stopped talking about it, and they've nagged because they want to do it all over again on the Saturday.
Okay, my son's been coming to Discovery Planet since it very first started. He loves it, absolutely looks forward to it. He's learned a lot about science and about the different applications of science.
It's been a massive long journey, quite exciting. What's been your favourite moment?
Finding the shop for a start was a massive highlight. I never thought we'd be able to do that, and then to be able to turn it as we have into a really inspiring, brightly coloured, fun environment is wonderful. So not only is it a place for education, it's also a community space, which we're now able to offer it to other community groups who are strengthening themselves, becoming more emboldened and more empowered because they're more visible on the high street.
The thing I'm most proud of are the networks that we've made, the number and different scientists that have been involved in all of our events this past year. So we've had professors, we've had undergraduate students and anybody in between coming and talking about the brilliant work that they do. It's sort of broadening out beyond science, so other departments are interested in coming and engaging and running events with us. I really like the way that we've pulled together as a team and also drawn on what the volunteers have brought, and we've been able to really listen to what the community wants. So for example, as soon as we saw that there were people struggling with the hubbub and the chatter, we introduced quiet sessions. People with special educational needs, it's really accessible for them too.
I see these young scientists who are studying at the University of Kent, just really proud of what they do.
I think what we all love is the look on people's faces. It's that jaw-dropping moment when they see something happen that they've never seen before and suddenly get a light bulb moment where they understand what's going on. I have that. It's fabulous.
I really liked how we learned about helping the police and fingerprints. It was really cool.
I liked having my head put in a cloud and a banana being smashed.
I liked how we put the fingerprints onto a piece of paper and we made a key ring.
I like the Discovery Planet shop because there's quite a lot of room and I like the cool design on the walls.
I liked how we tried to actually solve a crime.
I enjoyed a lot touching the plasma ball.
Probably touch the lightning thingy.
What was your favourite part?
Practically everything.